Hey everybody, so this is a video about, it's going to be a series, and a diary series on our journey on low budgeting and trying to budget and get ourselves out of debt, and put money into savings.
Our journey to be debt free, not counting house debt, of course, and but we will get to that in the future. Yep.
Yeah. So basically what we're 40, 41.
Gonna be 42, 41.
And so this is something we haven't really been doing. You should definitely budget and start saving, putting away money.
At an early age, not like us.
As soon as you start working, as soon as you're out of high school, and you start working a job, start saving and putting away money, because you're not going to have Social Security to rely on. You're not going to have anyone else to rely on but yourself, and you need to put away some money for that.
But I do want to say that this is not the channel for people who have led a perfect life, who've budgeted, who've been great, a saint from the beginning. This is a channel where we believe in redemption. We've messed up throughout our lives. Most of our lives. Now we're at middle age, and we want to get onto the right track. So we're using this channel as a way of making ourselves accountable for our actions from now on, and monitoring our spending, monitoring our lifestyle. We had excessive lifestyle habits before, and we're trying to cut it out from now on.
Living beyond our means and stuff like that, which isn't a good thing. And I think that's a thing with society, is people tend to put everything on credit cards and debit cards, and you just you never really look at the money. You don't have, we live in a society where we just don't carry around cash anymore. We don't use, for most of us, we don't use cash anymore. It's just always debit card, credit card, credit card, and we just never see it. But anyway.
I agree. I think that one of the things that I was thinking about is one of the things that prompted me for me to realize that, okay, we really need to start doing things the right way, is that I used to have a higher income before, and now I don't. Now I make less than Koa, and it's like a wake-up call to me. We need to really budget our lives. Just so that we can have a future, if we want to have a future, so that we won't be living in a hut. We might still be living in a hut, but at least it won't be a small hut. It will be like a little bit bigger of a hut,
with some amenities. So what we did was we kind of looked at what we were spending in what categories, and we kind of broke our lives down into categories. We were looking at different budgeting options and how to budget and stuff like that, especially True here, watching a lot of YouTube videos on budgeting.
Since years before, both me and him, I've tried to use how we have a lot of budgeting apps, so many budgeting apps right now out,
Oh yeah, we tried that.
We tried so many times. We tried Mint, we tried so many, all of it, just name it. We've tried all those apps and all those websites and things like that to track our, it didn't work. For us specifically, we needed something physical.
Well, because the apps, one thing the app lacks, at least for us, is all it does is it monitors what your transactions are and what you're doing, and you can set I'm going to use only this on groceries and this much on gas and stuff like that. But all it does is monitor you. It doesn't limit you and say, well, you're going over limit.
Well, it shows like a red bar, like you're over budget this year, so what?
We tried. One that we found that works is the envelope budget.
Cash envelope
for us. I understand, and I'm sure we both understand that doesn't necessarily work for everyone, and there's different methods of budgeting. So, find what works for you. But for me, because not seeing the money and just using credit card and debit card all the time, this at least puts the money in my hands, and I can see it and say, okay, I only have this much money left. I cannot spend any more because I have so much to go. And so we break our budget down by the week.
But with our envelope, with the way we're doing now, we literally see if we have $10 for this budget, oh my gosh, we have only $10. It kind of reminds us we have to be spot on with our decision making.
Right. So we made a chart for ourselves. You're probably not going to be able to read it because it's really small and very fine print.
Just an Excel sheet.
This is basically kind of like the stuff that we do have. These are reoccurring debt, expenses that are always going to be there. You know, let's see, like
house
like
payment,
cell phone and things like that.
Utilities.
These are always going to be the
payment.
same amount. So we didn't create envelopes for those.
Right.
These are just, we know that we're going to spend this much money on this per week, and we did put on this chart here. What I like is I put the date on when it's due, and I put them in order. So like if I know a certain thing is due on the 1st,
right.
so it goes. Yeah, here we go.
Well, he has a bill checklist.
Right.
For a checklist for all the bills in the ascending
order by date. So like this is due on the 1st, this is due on the 1st, these are due on the 2nd, these are due on the 15th, and so on and so forth. So as those dates approach, I can look at this on a constant basis, and I can say, okay, so what do I have coming up? And what I do is I get paid every week.
We both get paid every week.
What we do is we look at, okay, what is due, you know, in this week, what is due? Okay, we have this due and this due and this due. We need that money, and we need to pay those bills. And then we say, okay, this isn't due until next week, so we don't have to necessarily worry about that just yet, because when I get paid for the next week, then we'll take those funds and put it into those bills. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that being said, so we'll go to the stuff that we put in these envelopes, and these we actually got at Walmart. These are little, during the back to school sale and stuff like that.
50 cents, I think 47 cents.
Something like that. So we got these little, you go into your 3-ring binder, but they've, something I hadn't seen before was they had this little plastic see-through thing on there, which works really great. So True made this little sheet here, which we're gonna fix on because there's some things I found that I didn't like about it as we're going into it. But we basically put ourselves, okay, so we've got, we put our month up here, and we're week 2.
How much the budget would be for that week.
Right.
We're doing by week
just because we get paid by week. So like if you're getting paid every 2 weeks, you might want to do a 2-week budget instead of a 1-week budget.
Even then, I would think a weekly is so much easier to digest, because I was getting paid bi-weekly before when I was earning a higher income, and I wasn't budgeting at all. You know, it was harder for me to budget because it was a 2-week thing. Weekly budget is so much easier. It's a little chunk that you can manage. You know.
That, and plus if you put only the week's worth of money in here, you don't. If you put, like, let's say if you put 2 weeks worth in here or a month worth in your funds, I think you'd be more tempted to take money out of there. He's like, well, I still got this much money in here, so I'll take it out of there. But by limiting, we say $50 for groceries for the week, we put $50 in cash in here, and that's it. And then,
right. And we'll go more into it with future videos on our system. You know, so far we're only on the third week, but we've been able to stick with it. This is the longest. It's sad, but it's the longest we've been able to stick to a budget. It's only been the 3rd week.
I think that's actually good though.
I'm very proud of us right now. But things like groceries,
dining out.
You're gonna have to read.
Dining out. We've got gas, not house gas, but vehicle gas.
And in the future videos, we'll go over how much we allot for what. But
yeah, and entertainment. And then we have office, school supplies for work and things like that. Clothing. Health and medical stuff, so like vitamins and think of Band-Aids and miscellaneous stuff like that.
Co-payments.
Household, this is stuff like blankets or
cleaning supplies,
laundry, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Car registration, and then personal care, toothbrush, toothpaste, makeup, and then car maintenance, flat tire, that kind of thing.
That's another thing I realized during this budgeting process is so far
and some other
is that you have to be realistic. I love makeup.
Car wash.
I wear a lot of makeup. Well, I try to, and it's something that I can't let go of right now yet. So I'm not going to be a saint about it. So I do a budget category for my makeup, so that if I want to buy a good primer, I have something set up for this without using my credit card. So
and another little thing too we picked up because we were trying to budget even this stuff. When we were buying this, we're like, oh, we stay within our budget. We were going to use a binder, but they want a lot for a binder, for a 3-ring binder to put these in. So somebody had suggested we use one of these.
And we got this one for free.
Yeah, we got this for free. Somebody was nice
So
enough to give it to
that,
us.
you know,
so we
that,
just kind of hook
like
it
on
in
Monday,
here.
the category that we'll be using mostly is like dining out and maybe, and then gas. Oops, I'm not doing this right.
It's okay. Here, I get it. I got it.
Oh,
It's okay.
I can't see. Okay.
They get it. It goes in there, loops goes in there.
And then we can just carry it like a little, you know, it's so much easier than carrying a binder, you know. Also, do you want to bring up, to basically wrap up this video?
Right. So
this is the scary part of the video. We've been kind of dreading getting to it, obviously, but it's our debt.
So this is
the main thing the first thing we're gonna get out of is our debt.
Hopefully I'm not getting chopped off here.
Depressing.
Save me some room here. So here's our debt. We got several credit cards, and this is what our total debt is.
Yeah.
This is our current car loans, how much money we pay per month on our car.
Not per month. This is the total. The loan that is left, the remaining amount.
And then, of course, this is our monthly income. This is our take home. So it's not including taxes. You don't need to worry about that. So
not
this is how much money that we...
401k contributions,
right,
things like that.
And benefits and medical and stuff like that. So this is just how much money we take home. So
as you can see, we don't have too much to work with, but we're still blessed to have each other. Right. And now we're going to make it as a team.
So
anyway. I'm not just saying it, and we might talk about it in the future video. I've definitely been the happiest I've been in a long time, just because I finally feel like we're on the same page and same team.
We're on a goal.
And I swear I haven't felt like we have been on a budget, just because I'm spending more time with him. I like being with we like being with each other.
So basically what we kind of do, and we break this down to a week. So basically making $1,200
let's just say $1,100 a week.
At the most, it would be $1,200. But yeah, I think it's just a little bit less than $1,200.
Sometimes
but anyway,
it gets overtime. Sometimes,
right.
not.
But just to make the math easy, we just kind of rounded things off a little bit here. So with our budget, our total...
And I make pretty much minimum wage right now. There is a chance that I might get paid a little bit more in the future, but we're working with very little money right now.
So we've looked at how much we spend on different things, and so we've set our goal and said, okay, we're going to spend this much money. So we basically, every time we get paid, every week, we take out $200. $237.50. Okay. $237.50. There you go.
Out of cash.
So we take that out of the bank, out of cash. We get direct deposit, so the money's already in my bank, so I don't have to worry about it. So I take out that money in cash, and we put it in these envelopes. And we get, here, maybe we can pull this out. We got a little sheet here. Yeah.
So we call this our money bag.
So we've got
the one we take to the bank.
Yeah, so because we put in certain budgets for certain things. We got $25 on some things, $12.50 on other things, and stuff like that, and so on. So we broke it down into how many 20s we'll need, how many 10s and 5s and stuff like that, as you can see here. And then there's our total amount. So we give this to the teller, and we just let them know, hey, we need this much in this amount, and this much in 10s and 5s, and so on and so forth. And so we can put those in this envelope here.
And we put it in a savings account
and then
rainy day fund.
Whatever we don't spend, some of these envelopes we are doing a monthly thing. And so what we do is we say, okay, we break that up into the 4 weeks, and we say like $12, and we'll say, okay, so we'll put $12 in here, and then every week we put in, instead of taking the money out and putting it into our little money bag here, what we'll do is we leave it in there, and then until we reach a certain amount that we know that we're going to need it in 1 month or however long we're going to need it. So we just keep adding it in there until it reaches a certain point, and then we take that and we use it for whatever we're going to spend it on. Anyway.
So main points that we want to make in this video is that, you know, we're not gonna be coming off as experts on doing things because we're just starting to do it. This is our journey to be debt free, and after debt free, we can think of other things, you know. But yes, we are late bloomers, but better late than never.
Right.
And so far, this is gonna be our 3rd week. So come join along with us during our journey. Always be realistic with your budgets.
Right.
If you need a category for makeup, set aside like $10, or you know, set aside a certain small amount that you can save, because it's better than it's not a good idea to deprive yourself of your passions or interests, but rather make a budget for them.
Yeah, but we're also trying to save money too. So we also want to go and say, oh, okay, we don't want to spend this much money. Like, oh yeah, I normally spend $100 on makeup, but you know, you really got to curb that, and you know, we're trying to save money. So put more of a, you know, bring that down. Say, okay, maybe I'll set X amount instead. You know,
that's wise. Yeah.
You know, and also because, you know, at the end of each week, whatever money that we did not spend, that, because we set aside just over 200 per week, and so far every week we've actually spent less than that. That extra bit of cash, we put it back into my bank, we deposit that, and then we transfer that exact amount into like a rainy day fund, to be used for expenses that come up, you know, like car breaks down or something like that, and then we can go in and we can use that money. That money is tied to one specific card that we only use for emergencies and stuff like that. And so yeah, so I mean, we're looking at just under $1,200 a week, and then we're budgeting. We're spending less than $200 per week. So all that extra income, we're putting it down on
not extra income.
Well, not extra income, but it's
access.
That amount we're putting it towards
over the budget,
paying off that credit card debt that you saw earlier. So that's our goal, is basically to get rid of all that credit card debt, and that's how we're doing it. We're taking all that money and just putting it into the credit card.
And we have to keep in mind that, you know, we might change, you know, how we do things as we go along, because we're still trying to, you know, figure out what fits us the best, you know. So I can already see, like, maybe we're going to be adding a couple of categories just so that, you know, we don't want to deprive ourselves like 2-3 months, and then like 1 month we blow through our money because we're like, oh, we deserve it, we you know, this or that, or whatever reason we give to ourselves. We know ourselves best.
We've got to be strong. We've got to be strong.
Well,
but yeah, life
hopefully
changes.
we can be strong
things,
this time.
Yeah, but, you know, things change. So, you know, as we develop, and as life goes on, we might say, oh, well, now we need this, or once you pay off the credit cards, you know, do we stop budgeting? Do we stop doing this, or you know, or let's keep budgeting and then let's put all that extra money into something else, like retirement. I mean, there's always retirement, and stuff like that in the future, or putting money down for a house, or putting money down and saving for a car. So instead of getting into another debt of, let's say, oh, I'm gonna putting myself on a lease, or not lease, but
a leash?
No. You know, when you buy a car, you're not paying for it outright. You're doing monthly and payments, loan. So we can save money and say, okay, let's, you know, we're going to need a new car soon, so let's take all that money and keep budgeting, and then in a few months we'll have a couple thousand saved, and then we can use that and buy a used car for cash instead of having to get into a loan and stuff like that.
Our goal is to be able to, you know, pay off our what was the total? $17,000 in debt?
No, 11. 11,000
including
for the
car loan, it would
credit
be
cards and
17,000
6 the car.
something
Yeah.
dollars in loan in debt. That after we pay it off, we will move on to building emergency fund of 6 months or more expenses, which will be around $25,000 after, and then rainy day fund of $2,500.
Yeah, and maybe we can even make a vacation fund
Yeah.
as well.
So, yeah.
Put some money aside
That's
for vacation.
in addition to saving
Of course.
the maximum amount that we can to each of our retirement accounts. So, but we'll get to that after we get through the debt. So we'll get to that. And there are one more thing that I wanted to say is, I'm a very consumer oriented have that kind of personality, and initially I wanted to buy this, order from, you can order from Etsy or eBay or this or so Amazon, there's only cash envelope system like budget binders and printables and this or that for budget sheets, and there's a lot of people that make these cash envelopes. It's like there was this one that I really wanted, was like $50 for a cash envelope that you can snap in, and has these cloth pouches that you can put your money in, and it would have been really sweet, cool looking, and but then I told myself, what am I doing? I'm buying more things to budget, and that's another thing, we want to pare down the crap that we have. So, and instead, we decided, let's just go with the 47 cents pouches
from Walmart,
and it works really well.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah, we could use a regular envelope, but we can buy a box of envelopes, and it's like $1 or something like that for like 50 envelopes or 100 envelopes. I don't know how many they have in a box,
but it doesn't
these
last. We want to make it last.
Yeah.
So all right, hopefully come and join along.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully you guys will join us on our journey, and we'll keep you posted. We'll do regular updates and stuff. I don't know how often we'll do a video and showing you where we're at, but we'll do like, okay, maybe. Now we've got our debt down to here and stuff like that, and if we come up with any new ideas, or if
budget
we
recaps.
change things on our process on how we do things, maybe we can share that with you guys as well, and say, okay, well, we tried this, that didn't work out for us, now we're doing it this way, and things like that. So, or if you guys got other ideas as well, if you do an envelope budgeting system, maybe you can give us some ideas and stuff like that on what you do, and just kind of share with the community, and and how you guys budget, if you're budgeting, or if you're new like us and you want to get into that as well. So, all right, yeah,
Okay.
all right, well, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.